Hello. Today I am going to prove to you John Lawrence and Alexander Hamilton were secretly gay lovers. For starters, everyone is well aware Lawrence is fucking gay. Even his own father once admitted Lawrence showed no interest in women whatsoever. Hamilton, on the other hand, was a tomcat. There is evidence, however, suggesting he swung both ways. For starters, a lot of his friends were gay. Hamilton was friends with Baron von Steuben, a general whom had been kicked out of the Prussian army for being gay. He was also friends with a British spy, Major John Andre. Historians are very positive Andre was gay. They're even more certain about his sexuality than they are about Lawrence. Anyways, when it was discovered Andre was a spy, Alexander was heartbroken. He even privately visited the Major in his cell before his execution. However, since no one else was in the room where this happened, nobody knows what was said. Or possibly done. Law wink wong. And, of course, Hamilton was friends, or maybe more, with Lawrence. Both Hamilton and Lawrence did not practice the Christian faith at that point in their lives, though both believed in a higher power. If neither were Christian, neither believed in sinning, thus, homosexuality would have not been a sin to them. As a matter of fact, they shared many beliefs and ideas. The two worked together to try to gain more equal rights for African Americans, which was very forward thinking for the time. If they thought in advanced manners towards racial equality, maybe they were also more accepting of homosexuality. Some may argue Lawrence couldn't have been gay because he had a wife and child. However, I'd like to counter-argue with a few points. First off, Lawrence himself once proclaimed in a letter that he only had married that woman out of pity after impregnating her. Also, John never told Alex about his wife and child. Hamilton only found out about them by snooping and reading John's letters, which I'd like to point out the modern equivalent of this would be stealing your significant other's phone and reading their texts. Besides occasionally sending letters and maybe money to his wife, Lawrence rarely had any part in her life. In fact, he was borderline a deadbeat dad. Hamilton had a deadbeat dad. Perhaps some twisted psychological thing made Hamilton attracted to Lawrence because of this. On the event John would send his wife letters, he addressed her, "Dear girl." In his frequent letters to Hamilton, he addressed them, "Dear boy." John Lawrence did not address any other person, besides Hamilton, "Dear boy." In a letter to John from Hamilton, after Alex had made a penis joke, something was blotted out. I am unaware as to if this was Lawrence doing or a future owner of the letter, but nevertheless, some speculate this may have been because what Hamilton said next was too gay. On Hamilton's wedding night, Alex invited John to have a threesome with his newlywed wife, Eliza. The only reason this did not happen was because Eliza didn't want to. Usually, in heterosexual threesomes, it's two girls and one male, not the other way around. Lastly, John was an artist and liked turtles. Tell me that isn't gay. Come on, do it. Alas, you can't. In conclusion, one plurals and asex ham is the men were gay lovers confirmed.